people of my page. Welcome back. My name is Catherine, and my channel is Speak Truth to Lies. Today, I just wanted to share with you a Twitter thread that is everything. His name is Jack Murphy, and I found out about him listening to Tim Pool. If you are not aware of who Tim Pool is, I can't recommend him enough. I really like the fact that when he researches and does his commentary on news sources, he doesn't just pull from one side, and he doesn't really have an opinion, so to speak, as far as which side is right. I guess people like to call him milk toast fence sitter because he doesn't really identify with Democrat or Republican. I would consider him more of a libertarian, so to speak, but what he does stand for is principles of what he values, his core values, and what he believes is right and what he believes is wrong. So I really enjoy listening and watching his videos and his perspective on things. While I might not agree with all of it, I can still respect the fact that he takes all accounts into consideration as opposed to just one-sided views. But I stumbled across this Twitter thread today, and it pretty much sums up the culture war that we are facing right now. So it starts as, a lot of alleged anti-woke would rather be polite than win. Being polite is a part of the straitjacket which allowed woke to rise in the first place. James Lindsay likes to refer to this. He says academics are at the highest risk for this because they're open-minded individuals, but he also warns against not being so open-minded that your brains fall out. This is partly why I often go on troll rampages using old PUA terms and taking edgy LOL positions to push away those who are too fucking uptight or too worried about their status in a corrupted system. We need shameless sovereign warriors today, not social climbers. So in this right here where it says too worried about their status, we live in a world where people are more concerned about being liked than speaking truth. And when you lie or repeat falsehoods, you are corrupting your soul. It's hilarious how Conceptual James, this is James Lindsay, is exposing PC culture among the alleged anti-woke. Well, hilarious and terrifying at the same time, some of the people who we are counting on to fight this war have already surrendered to the enemy, and they don't even realize. It's not enough to simply not participate in PC culture. We have to actively be anti-politically correct. No joke. Political correctness is a system of oppression. It must be dismantled. So I just want you to take a second and think about how PC culture, I mean, it started early 2000s, late 90s, and it has literally steamrolled with frightening speed. Our comedy, movies, everything. Comedians, who used to offer a reprieve from the heaviness that sometimes politics can offer, are now censoring themselves for fear of hurting someone's feelings, because now what we're seeing in the woke critical theory culture is feelings are objective. Okay, so someone's objective reality is the truth, and that couldn't be further from the truth than that statement. Whoever said the pen was mightier than the sword didn't want you to have a sword. Action is more important than words. Action will defeat rhetoric. Rhetoric will not defeat the woke, especially rhetoric restrained by the chains of political correctness. Be rude, be a winner. So the reason that I started this channel is because I could no longer be quiet. And too many people are. And if you're listening to this video right now, I'm talking to you. You are complicit. You're complicit. Americans will be complicit in their own enslavement if we don't start contacting our legislatures, voting different people into office, voting our conscience and our values and our principles as opposed to party. Okay. And what I mean by that is, yes, maybe you've been a lifelong Democrat, and that's okay, but you need to find out, you need to start doing research. I'm calling on all of you to do your research when these candidates come up for election. This day that we live in, this age that we live in, you're going to find that maybe the Democrat does not uphold your values. Stop voting for someone based off of skin color or sex identity. If it's a woman, whatever, stop. Just stop. I don't need visual representation in my elected officials. I don't care if they look like me. Obama didn't look like me. I voted for him the first time and the second time, but I voted for him because of the principles that I thought he stood for. Okay, so I can't stress the importance of that even more so now, because now we are living in an identity politics world. Okay, we're focusing on either the racial identity, sexual orientation, instead of the principles that they stand for. And I don't understand this whole hatred for this country. If you don't like this country, leave. You have the right to do so. If you think this country is so horrible, bye. Sorry, not sorry. There are plenty of other places you can go. If you think you can find something better somewhere else, by all means, be my guest. But if you know in your heart that there isn't one, that America is a great country and we have the freedom to stand up and say that we hate it, try doing that in another country. You'll either be imprisoned or stoned. It's just the reality of the situation. If you don't believe me, it doesn't take much research to find out that that is true. We are the last bastion of hope for every other country in the world. There is a reason that people want to immigrate here. But I just thought I'd share that with you because we need warriors. We need patriots. We need people that love this country, that will stand up for this country, that will fight for this country and the core values and the principles and the ideals that this country stands for. If you want to focus on the negative things that have happened in the United States, by all means, be my guest. I cannot stop you. But I would urge you to do a little research and look into your heart and ask yourself this question. What is it about yourself that you hate so much that you need to project it out into the world? Seriously. And if you think I'm wrong, read some psychology. You're projecting your hate for yourself out into the world around you. What you see is who you are. And I'm pretty sure that most of my friends would agree. There is nothing but love in here. So not only is that all that I see when I look out into the world, it's all that I project. I started these videos because I love all of you. I started making these videos because I wanted to bring awareness to issues that are important to me, to you, because I love you. And I want you to be aware of what's going on. I don't really consider myself a religious person by any stretch of the imagination. Spiritual, yes, but I had a very good friend of mine ask me if I was a Christian. And I told her, I'm like, well, I'm not really, I guess, agnostic. I'm like, I don't really go to church. And she's like, you don't have to be a church. You don't have to go to church to be a Christian. So keep that in mind. Even if you consider yourself an atheist, I want you to keep that in mind. You don't have to go to church to be a Christian, because Christianity, or to be a Christian, isn't in a building. It's a set of principles, ideas, and values that you hold in your heart. That's basically, when she asked me that, that's basically what they told me. So I told her, I'm like, well, if you believe that I'm a Christian, I guess, then I'm a Christian. Because I have a set of values and principles that I live up to every day. And I treat everyone that I run into with dignity and respect. And if I tell you that I love you, it's because I do. And I encourage you to do the same. And I encourage you to spread that message. Share this video. Until next time, my friends, remember, hypocrisy is everywhere. Speak truth to lies.